Hello, welcome to Match of the Day 3. Three subjects to discuss quickly with Jason Roberts and Kevin Kilban. Let's start with Burnley, beaten 4-0 at West Brom. I know we're only 6 games in, but do you fear for them already?
I do fear for them. I fear for them hugely. Lack of experience in the Premier League, lack of quality, but even more so in front of goal. 1 goal scored so far. Juktovic today looked like he had no confidence. There wasn't many balls into him with quality. There was nobody running past him. From a striker's perspective, I was frustrated for him. I was surprised at the lack of ambition they showed going into the game. And if you're not scoring goals, you need to commit more men forward. Because if you're not scoring goals, they had 3 0-0s coming into this game, and it didn't look like they were going to trouble West Brom at all in this game.
But the positives from those 3, or the 0-0s, is actually up until the West Brom game, they had only conceded 4 goals. So that is a positive.
It is a positive. That's the way that Sean Dyche approached the game. He was very, very conservative, very, very defensive-minded. And I think the way they conceded the goals would disappoint him even more, because in open play, West Brom didn't really create an awful lot. Conceded from 2 set plays. And I think all his game plan went out the window then, didn't he? I think he had to change his system round. He had to make substitutions at half-time and try and force the issue. And West Brom then carved them open, really, in the second half.
And you see the way Leicester have gone about attacking this league and the way they've gone forward and scored goals like they did in the Championship. Burnley didn't score many goals in the Championship, so they followed that on. Even with the injury to Ings, they still weren't scoring many goals in the Championship. Didn't score goals when he was in the side before. 0-0s aren't going to keep you in the Premier League.
And whilst I take your point that you can compare promoted clubs in the sense that both are new to the Premier League, Leicester were able to go and spend £8 million on a Joa, and maybe Burnley don't have that. Well, no. Definitely don't have that.
Well, they paid £1.5 million, I think it was, for Juktovic. That's the difference, isn't it? 11 million.
For Boyd.
Yeah, exactly. That is the big difference. I think part of Burnley's promotion last year, or one of the key players with them, was Kieran Trippier. He was the one getting forward. Now you watch him now; he's restricted. He sits alongside Michael Duff and Jason Shackle, and that is where they are really. They're just trying to contain sides rather than go on and beat them.
OK, let's move from the bottom of the Premier League to nearer the top, and Southampton, who are in second at the moment. I mean, we've put the graphic up, top 4 for Saints, which might be getting slightly carried away, is it?
Yes, possibly, but I think now's the time to be excited for them. I mean, they sold so many good players, and I was one of the people saying, if you're selling players like that, you're going to struggle this season. Koeman never complained. He always kept positive. You look at the players he brought in, players he knew. Pelle, Tadic from the Dutch league. They kept Schneidling, who I think is so important to the way they play, more so than the likes of Lallana and Lambert, I think. And, you know, you add Wanyama into that. Strong spine of the side. And I think they're going to have a good season. Top 4 might be a little bit too far. But there's no doubt there's lots of positive things coming out of Southampton.
Spoke to James Ward-Prowse, didn't we, on Match of the Day 2 Extra, who spoke about that first talk that Koeman gave the squad, which was very calm, and there's no need to panic. Yes, there are players leaving, but players will be coming in and will be just fine.
Well, Koeman knew that before they took the job. He knew there'd be sales. They've released players that we thought was going to have a major effect on that side, but you mentioned the spine of the side there. Definitely with Schneidling and Wanyama. I think they're key. I think Ward-Prowse himself was having a good influence on the team before his injury. Up front, Pelle. I mean, what a signing he is. I mean, the goal he scored up the weekend was an outstanding finish from him. And then Tadic, who can create, he can open up defences. But I think defensively as well, they've continued what they had last season, a very, very solid base.
But with Pelle and Tadic, and they've had great starts to the season, given your knowledge of players when they come into the Premier League, at some point they might have a dip, though, mightn't they?
They may do, but I think what's positive from their perspective is the fact that the manager knows them and has come over from Holland and knows their game very well. Certainly had Pelle at Feyenoord. So that relationship between the two will help them. When he needs to take them out, he will take them out. And also, after Pelle's goal yesterday, he should just play with Pelle on his back, because that's one of the best goals I've ever seen. Goal of the season.
Goal of the season.
You heard it here first.
We had this argument on final score. Right, more than Phil Jagielka's?
Without a doubt.
That's the strikers' union, though, isn't it?
Yes.
You just think Jagielka thumped it and hoped?
He just hit it. It could have gone anywhere. Yeah. People in row Z were holding their heads like this.
So could Pelle.
No, Pelle's was class, and he's a striker.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's move on. We'll do the third subject, which involves Newcastle, who play in the Monday night game at Stoke. What do you make of Mike Ashley's comment that was made on Thursday evening, supposedly to a fan, saying if he loses this, he's gone?
Again, was it in jest? Was he, on a night out, not realising what was going to come of it? As an owner of a football club, you can't make comments like that, because you're so open and you're so susceptible to these sort of things being reported. I think overall, Alan Pardew is under pressure. I think we all recognise that with the form that they've had since Christmas last year, after the sale of I'm trying to think. Cabaye, there you go. The sale of Cabaye, it's had an effect on the side, and it has. You can't overlook that fact. But this season, I think they haven't started particularly well. Last week, with the performance that they put in when they clawed themselves back from 2 goals down, I think it just showed a little bit of spirit within the side. But I think they're always going to be 2 or 3 games away from Alan Pardew being in trouble again. That's the way it seems to me, anyway.
As are most managers, you're two or three results away from pressure. But
yeah,
I agree with you, more so here. I think Cisse coming in was massive for them because he's a goal scorer, and where they've struggled
against
is in front of goal.
Yeah.
Against Hull, coming on and scoring those 2 goals. The only issue is Riviere, who they brought in for quite a bit of money. I mean, he's coming up front, and he hasn't really hit the ground running. He scored those 2 goals in the League Cup, which I think will help him massively. But if they can get him running, Cisse, they need to keep him fit. Goals are important. Their performance against Southampton defensively, where they lost 4-0, was one of the worst defensive performances between Colaccini and Williamson I've seen in a long time. So defensively, they've never been a strong unit. What I need to do is make sure that they keep Cisse fit and get Riviere firing.
Is Pardew right to say he'd have been more concerned if those Mike Ashley comments had been made in a sit-down interview?
No, not necessarily. I mean, he's made the comments. They've been made public, and when you make comments like that as well, it puts managers under more pressure.
Even if they might have been in jest?
If they were in jest, fair enough, but I don't think you make them to start with, do you? Because he knows his manager's under serious pressure as it is.
OK, thank you very much to both of you, and we will do another Match of the Day 3 next week.